Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. Today we are going to be making these cute little mini tote bags, and I think they would make a great little Mother's Day gift. End of school year gift, like teacher appreciation a gift, teacher appreciation not gifts, something to hand out, maybe at a luncheon for teacher appreciation or something like that. This is measures about 3 inches wide. The box part measures about 3.5 inches tall, and so it can hold different things. But for what I decided, I picked these up the other day. They're these Chessman butter cookies, and they are Pepperidge Farms Chessman butter cookies, and they come in a little package like this. You get them in a, just gonna slide back here. They come in this bigger package of 8. And if you have not seen them in your store or your stores, I have linked down below to Amazon, where they do have them in case you're looking for them. And then you can pair them with like a little tea bag, and there's so many different kinds of teas. This, if you can just see, this is like an average size tea bag, so it fits really handily inside there. So you could even do like a larger tea bag. Just look for something that's individually wrapped. You don't want to put a tea bag that doesn't have like some protective cover on it. So I don't know if you call this Twinings or Twinnings, but this brand is really good. Bigelow's really good. There's other brands of tea out there. I drink a lot of tea, so I just picked some that had some pretty colors to put in there. You could also choose like a more generic tea, like a black tea or something like that. And then this morning, I was like, there was just one little square of designer series paper left over. This box, after I cut up all the pieces for the sides and the front, there was a little 2.5-inch square left over, and it was just begging for me to do something with it. So I made this card. Typically we make mini cards in 3x3, but since this is 3 inches across, I made this just a teeny bit smaller. So this is a 2 3/4-inch square card, and it will, I haven't put it inside yet because this was tied, but I'm just going to show you that this will fit inside the tote as well. So if you were doing this for like a Mother's Day event, maybe your church does something for the mothers, and this would be a great little thing for that. You could do these, maybe put a little Bible verse inside here, or just write like a little message, handwritten message to the moms. And if you have a Happy Mother's Day stamp, you can do that. But do you know what? I do not have a Happy Mother's Day stamp that is current right now. And I think that's because I lost my mom a couple of years ago, and my heart just has not been in stamping Happy Mother's Day the greetings and stuff. So I think I just kind of, if it's a mom set, I've kind of just avoided it. But very cool way to add mom on here is by using the mini alphabet dies. And I love this die set because you're not dealing with all these teeny tiny little dies that you have to wrangle. You just take a sheet, I think about a 5-inch by 3-inch piece to fit over top, run it through, and then the leftover letters, I just put them in a little box. And because you're not going to use all the letters for every single project, so then you just fish out the leftover letters. And one cool thing about this particular set, the W and the M will both look like M's if you turn the W around. So you can do the full word mom with one swipe through. So this is a really great little alphabet die set. If you're doing this for a school, you could do the initials of the school down at the bottom. You can do maybe like a 5-letter name down at the bottom. or you know, an acronym or something like that. But I think this is just really cute with just the plain mom. You could do aunt, you know, because there's lots of different ways to appreciate the mother figures in our life in when upcoming Mother's Day. So I made these. I'm talking a lot, but I want to give you some information. I made these with the Designer Series paper, the 2024-2026 Designer Series paper, which is retiring. It is on sale right now, so grab some because it is fabulous paper. So this is the paper. It is on sale. Now, if this sells out, then you can always pick up in May when the new catalog starts. We will have new in color paper in all the different colors that you can use as well. Another alternative, just in case you're looking for something and it sells out in the meantime, I also really like Cute as Can Be. There's some neutral patterns in there. There's the item number 166621. I don't have this on my supply list because I didn't use this, but you can use the little hearts, the flowers, even some of the little smaller bees are really cute. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, there's no such thing as a bee event. Well, maybe there is a National Bee Day, but there isn't like a big event. So like bees don't necessarily signal a different type of event. You could handily use this for Mother's Day as well. What else did I want to tell you? There's lots of little things that I wanted to tell you before I started, but that's kind of the main thing. I did use, I wanted to share, I used the Spotlight on Nature dies, and they are great for creating the little handles on here. So that kind of makes it a little bit special. And I used the Bee Builder Punch because it's got two, I'm reflecting myself. Let's turn this way. Okay, it's got two little hearts on it, and that makes a nice little decoration for the front of the box. So I'm going to show you how to make this. This project, you know, it looks like simple, and it isn't hard to make, but what I'm really proud about this project is it pretty much uses a half sheet of cardstock for the tote, okay, minus just a little tiny strip that we're going to cut down, and it uses up a full sheet of 6x6 if you make that little card at the end. So it's really a great project for utilizing your supplies, like your consumable supplies, to the max. So that's why I really love this project, and I think it's going to have like a lot of mileage for you to use in the future. Okay, I also want to let you know I finally got it together, and I actually made my project sheet ahead of time. It's not complete, but it's complete-ish, just so I can show you what a project sheet of mine looks like if you are not familiar. To get this project sheet, you just need to sign up for my email list. And normally this project sheet is sent Saturday morning to all my email list subscribers. And then if you're watching this 10 months from now, just remember I also offer my back project sheets for my email list subscribers as well. And I often get this question, so I'm going to answer it for you right here, right now. When you sign up for my email list, it's two-factor authentication. So you put your name in the slot and you hit subscribe. You will get an email that asks you to validate the fact that you want to be on my email list. You need to do that to get on. And after you do that, you should be sent a welcome email to my email list. If you don't get that welcome email, one of two things has happened. Either it has landed in your trash, your spam folder, or it has landed, or your email list provider has made it disappear and never to end up in your inbox. I don't have a lot of control over that. I do ask that if you have problems, put my email address in the in your address book when you get your first email from me, so that helps your email provider know that you want emails from me. The other thing is, say you don't get my welcome email. Once you get your first Saturday project sheet email, look down below. There's a banner. The very last banner has a link to my past project sheets page. So just remember that there are different ways to get there. I had someone, unfortunately, sometimes people don't know, and I do get a lot of emails, and sometimes I don't catch all of them because I get a lot of emails. And someone emailed me and said that I had not fulfilled my promise to send them the Ribbon Savers project sheet. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you know, a lot of this is out of my hands. You know, she did reach out to me finally, and I did email her back. I don't know if she ever got my project sheet or not, but I felt bad. But a lot of times I'm at the mercy of like your email provider. If they are filtering out a lot of unwanted messages, and I know there's a lot of spam floating around there, sometimes my email might fall into that category. So unfortunately, sometimes it will seem like I'm not fulfilling my promise, but I promise you, I am not trying to keep project sheets from you. I want everyone to have them. Just unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out as seamlessly as I would like. So just know that I'll always try and do my best to get my project sheets to you. Okay, I have done a lot of talking. There's one last thing I want to do before I show you how to make this mini tote bag. You're going to love it because it's not hard to make. One other thing I want to do is I do have a host code going this month. And this host code, the last day you can use it this month, I think will be, I'm going to probably cut it off on the 13th because the last day I can close it out is the 14th in the morning. So, but use it as long as you can. And this is going to be my gift this month. I've done this a few years. For a few years, I've taken my retired paper, whatever is left, I cut up into 6x6 and I repackage it. And that has been a gift that I have done every spring for several years. It's a pretty popular promotion because it's for every 50 you spend, you get a pack. And I guarantee that you'll get at least 20 sheets. But this time I'm also adding a roll of ribbon to that. Now it won't be a full roll of ribbon, but I'm not going to just give you 6 inches either. It's with ribbon, it's so hard to I'm not going to unroll and measure how much ribbon I'm going to give you, but I'm going to make sure there's enough ribbon on there to make it worth your while to get some ribbon from me. And I'm going to send those to you. So if you spend $100, you're going to get 2 packs of a designer series paper. This is retired. All the packs will be different, and 2 rolls of ribbon. So that should be a really fun promotion for this month. And so yes, so this host code is still valid, and I will take it off during the second half of the month when it no longer works. But for now, if you could use it, I would appreciate it. And this promotion with the paper and ribbon, you have to spend at least $50. And if you spend $150, you will get 3 ribbon and DSP packs. So it is a great thing to get. All right, let me pop that away. And I am going to switch over to my other camera. I really want to show you kind of from the ground up how I make these. Okay, so I did some different colors. So it's nice when you get like a color pack of designer series paper. You can do them in all the different colors. If you don't like pastels, think about doing them in the brights. I purposefully made the boxes in white. And then you can get a multi-pack of whatever colored cardstock to create these these handles and the little hearts. So you can absolutely do that very easily. And then you can get the designer series paper, which also comes in color families. So it makes for a nice kind of streamlined project. So yeah, I really love the way they turned out. We're going to do one more of the in colors this morning, just so we can put them all together and make them look pretty. I'm going to pop these over here. All right, we are going to start by making the tote. And today I am actually going to show you from the ground up how I cut almost everything. So let's grab, I'm going to just use regular basic white. I think the thick right now is sold out for the moment. It will come back in stock, or at least it was earlier this week when I went to buy it. But you can do this with regular basic white. The sides of this box are quite sturdy because they're doubled over, so it does not feel flimsy to me. It feels like it nice in the hands. So even with basic white, you'll be fine. If you use thick basic white, if you have some on hand, it will be even sturdier. So I'm just using regular basic white cardstock, and we're going to cut this piece. This starts off as 11 inches by 8.5. We're going to put that long side up at the top, and we're going to align this side up with 5.5, and we're going to cut it in half. So you'll have another half sheet to make another tote bag with. Then I'm going to open up my ruler here. We're going to slide this in, and then we're going to cut off 1/4 inch. So I'm lining this up with 8.25. This is the long side that I have up at the top. Oh, I am fuzzy. Focus on me. Okay, it doesn't want to focus on me. Okay, well, as soon as I get this trimmer out of the way, I'm sure it will be fine. So I'm cutting off 1/4 inch. And so you're left with a piece that is 8.25 by 5.5. Okay, and that's what you will need to create the tote, an 8.25 by 5.5. I don't know if I'm tempted one day to turn that autofocus off and see if that does any better. It gets a little annoying sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this, and first of all, we're gonna put the short side up at the top. I'm gonna stand up while scoring because it's less likely that I'm gonna skip lines all over the place. And on both short sides, I'm going to score at the 1.25 inch mark. Yes, I could say at the 1.25 and 4.25, but sometimes it's just easier for everyone to remember 1.25 and 1.25 on the short side. And then we're going to do, on the long side, we're going to do 3.5 on one long side and 3.5 on the other long side. So short side 1.25, turn 1.25, long side 3.5, and turn 3.5. That is all there is to it. Okay, we'll pop this aside. Then let's bring back in our trimmer because I like really straight lines. You can also do this part with scissors. I'm going to open this up. I've got the long side up at the top. I'm going to find my groove that I just scored and line it up with the groove on the trimmer. Then I'm going to bring my blade with this up, and I'm going to bring it so it lines up right with this score line right here. And I'm going to cut out, lift, bring this down so it matches up with this score line and go down. So very easy. You could also do this with scissors, right? Very easily. And then we'll slide this over and we'll do it again. We're going to cut and lift and cut. So you can do this with scissors if you want to. I just like super straight lines, so that makes it a little easier. Then we're going to angle cut the tab, not this part, the little square tab. That's what we want to angle cut. this is going to help everything fit together really nicely. So it looks like that. And then we're going to do the other side. It's pretty easy peasy. There's so many things I like about this project. I like just the half sheet of cardstock aspect. Using up a full sheet of designer series paper makes me also super happy. Okay, before we cut, we have to cut little semicircles into both ends. But before we do that, we need to add the designer series paper. So let's set this aside for a moment and let's get the designer series paper cut. So I've got my trimmer back and I wanted to show you how I cut up my piece. Usually I just show you all the pieces, but I want to show you how to cut this up so you maximize this full sheet. So I'm going to turn it like this because I'm going to do the stripes on the front of the tote. So first of all, we're going to line this up at the 3.5 inch mark and cut 3.5 inches first. And then we're going to cut this 6 inch by 3.5 inch piece in half at the 3 inch mark. So if you're using different paper or you're using scrap pieces of paper, you're going to need 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 3.5. Okay, we'll set those aside. Then I'm going to take this leftover long piece and I'm going to cut it at the 3.5 inch mark. And then I have 2 pieces left over. This is the 2.5 inch square that I used for the card. Just like flip it over and you have the front designer series paper for a card. Very simple card. Then those are my front panel pieces and this is going to be the side panel. So I'm going to turn this now and I'm going to cut this at the 1.25 inch mark. So now we have 2 1.25 by 3.5 inch pieces, and this will be for the sides. All right. So, you know, if you want to simplify, of course, you don't need to add the paper. This is what adds the little, you know, the extra, right? But say you were needing to make these faster, this is like an extra step that I'm doing right now, and so you don't have to do that, but I'm just going to take these pieces and add them. Now if you find like, so some of my paper fit on here kind of perfectly, but if you find that you need to shave, like you can dry fit this first, you might want to shave like a 1/16 of an inch off. You can do that if you want to. It's best not to overlap on the score lines. So my first piece seem to work really well without, because this covers exactly the whole side. So you can decide if you don't want to have any hangovers. So sometimes one piece is a little smaller than the other. I think they're both about the same. So let's just go ahead and glue this one down and slide it into place. Okay, and then we have the other side. All right. So if you're not doing designer series paper, then you just skip this step and just go right on to the next step. Let's put some of these things away so they're out of the way. Let's grab our die cutting machine. We will also need our base platform number 1, our thin die adapter number 2. They have a lot of static on them, so they like to collect my hair for some odd reason. It's winter still, or we still have the heat running most days, so that's why. All right, so this will fit in really nicely. And let's take a look at our Spotlight on Nature dies. I'm going to be using the second and third smallest. You are welcome to use different dies to do your cutting. I really like this handle right here because I know I do not have to pick the pieces out of this handle if any of them get stuck. This one cuts really nicely. So these are the two I'm using to create my handle, but I need the inner piece first to cut right here. So I wanted a way to line this up so it would look the same each time. So I went ahead and I cut myself a circle. I folded it in half, and then I lined it up on here, and then I just scooted it back just a little tiny bit. And then I took a Sharpie and I drew 2 little lines on my circle. So that way I'm not guessing every single time, where am I gonna lay this down? Now I know I'm just gonna lay it down right there. I'm not gonna even think about it. And I'm just gonna kind of see, okay, I can eyeball this from side to side pretty easily. Okay, if I'm very careful and I lay this down without moving anything. Oh shoot, I just did. Okay, we're gonna tape it. I was gonna say, if I'm very careful, I might be able to do this without taping this piece down, but I don't think I'm gonna. Let's grab some labeling and cover up tape. We're just gonna pin this down. That way it's not gonna move. Oh, it did move a little bit on this side. Let's turn that just a little bit. Okay. That side's pinned down. All right. Now, you don't need to roll this all the way through. Just go that far and then go back out. Because you don't need to waste your effort because it's already cut that little piece, okay? So for this one, don't bother going all the way through. And then this piece, I'm not gonna remove those little pieces out of there. That just gets discarded. Okay, we'll do the other side now. Let me line this up. Scoot this back a bit. Okay, that looks good enough. Okay. I die cut in a different spot. This is my, like, where I do my computer work and my workstation. So I'm not used to this particular setup right here. Somehow it seems unnatural to me. My other work cutting station is a little higher. So I feel like I never die cut, or don't die cut there as often. So this can just be discarded. And now we've got our little dents that we need for the handles. Let's set this aside, and we're going to create, we need 2 of these handles. I already cut one of them, so let's just go ahead and cut another one. So I like to cut both of them at the same time. This one I might need to like knock some of those little pieces out first. Remember to use wax paper to every few times you go through with this, because that's going to help you with those little pieces so they don't stick. Okay, then plop that in there and just center it. Now I'm probably just going to go ahead and pin this one down too. And then we'll run that through. This time I'm going to go all the way through. Come on. All right. And then we'll just release that. And here is the circle that we need. And that can be for a different project. And this, I usually just scrape off, like any of these little pieces, I usually just scrape it off with an old credit card, an old hotel room key, something that's like plasticky and stiff. Okay, bring this back in, bring this back in, and we're going to take this. Let's grab our glue. We're just going to trace a little line. It's easier to do this on the tote than it is to do it on the circle, and that way you don't have the accident of putting too much glue on the whole circle, because you put it on the tote and then you line this up and then you just kind of squeeze down like that. And I notice mine is a little off center. You could do a little center mark if you're trying to make sure that they're not crooked. I did a better job on my other ones because I took more time. This one looks better than the other side, but I'm sure when you do masses of these, there's always the chance that one or two of them will end up not perfect. But that's okay, right? This is made, these things are made from the heart. They're not supposed to be perfection. It's like, just like all of us, we're not perfection either, right? Okay, it's easier to decorate this while it's down. I prefer to decorate on this side than this side because people are going to be having this side forward, and these edges are, this is going to be a more unfinished edge. It's going to go towards the back, so I like to decorate on that side. So let's grab a couple things that we need. We'll need a couple of hearts. So I'm using just some Pretty in Pink paper here. This was also Pretty in Pink. I'm going to punch a heart for here. And then I have some scrap of that glimmer paper in colors. The good news is that this glimmer paper is carrying over into the online catalog, or maybe it's in the catalog, I don't know, but it is carrying over for now, so that's happy news. And I also know that the ribbon is carrying over, but it's not in the catalog. And I lost my roll. Oh, there it is. Okay, we need that in a second. And then let's go ahead and I need to do the mom thing. So let me grab, I'll show you what I do when I want to do just a quick run through and I don't want to have all the letters. I just want to show you how I do that. Give me just 1 second. I want to scrape off these little guys. There we go. Bring this back in for a second. Okay, so I lay this face up. And let me grab, I need a tiny piece. This, I'm going into my scrap pit. So I'm just going to take some scissors. I'm going to look, okay, the M needs about this much, and I'm going to do a W, and then I'm going to do an O. So we're just going to take this, lay this on here. This is probably a little bit more than an inch, but if your strip is an inch wide, that's actually kind of the perfect width. And then we're just going to throw those on top of the letters that we want, and then we're just going to go like this, and we're going to run this through with that plate on the top. My machine is very tight, guys. It's so tight. Okay, then we have our WM, and let's grab, they don't want to come out, you just poke them out. Okay, I've got my M, my O, and my M, and we can put that away. Stick this away. All right, I'm really showing you everything today. All the different pieces. Okay, let's slide this in. Let's grab our MOM. And of course, if you had like a Happy Mother's Day stamp, you could do that too. Like, you don't have to do these little letters. I think they're really cute though, after going through my collection and realizing I did not have anything that said Happy Mother's Day. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to get creative. And I always forget about my mini alphabet dies because they're not in the typical spot where I would find my greetings. Usually I get my greetings from my stamp set, so I always forget I have these, and they're so handy for small little words on cards, for just adding just a little cute little touch on our 3D things. So there, Mom. And then we're going to take this little heart and add it to the bigger heart. And I just really like doing this when this is flat. It's just really easy right now to decorate this while it's flat. And then we'll put that right there. And I know you guys are going to do a better job of me than decorating this. So just go for it and send me a photo of how yours turned out. And then I'll be like, oh, I should have done that. So I'm just now folding all of these pieces. I do like my clean and simple style though. I do like it, but then when I see what else you guys do with it, I am just always so impressed at the next level of things that you do with it. Okay, so I like to, this has to be glued last because this is the outside, right? So we're going to start by gluing the insides. I'm going to do the glue on these little tabs right here. And we're just going to keep this flat on the surface, and we're going to fold this in. And since I cut nice and straight, this is leaning or is right on my work surface, this piece. And so I can just use my work surface to make sure it is nice and straight along the bottom. I'm just going to press that in, and we'll go to the other side, and we're also going to press this in. Don't want it to buckle at the bottom, but we want it nice and flat near the bottom. Okay, and then we can turn this to the side and just draw like a little rectangle on there. We'll do the same thing for the other side. And then we're going to fold this side in, give it a little squeeze, and then we'll fold the other side in, give it a little squeeze, and then I'm going to tip it on its side and use the back end of my bone folder to press down so that glue got stuck into there, right? Look how cute. Isn't that cute? It's so pretty. It's got kind of a pink on the outside and kind of a white on the inside. If you wanted to, this would be an extra step, but I didn't do it. I don't think it needs it. You could cut 2 more of these and line the inside with another open circle. Totally could do that. But let's be realistic here. I do not want to cut 2 more circles. So Chessman, nice little package. I know I don't like too much packaging, but there's a piece of plastic in here that keeps your cookies from crumbling. So that will just fit nicely down in there. And then you take a little tea bag and you tuck that in there. And then I'm going to grab, let's just grab a piece of card. So I want to show you how I did my little card. It's not too hard, and I don't have this on the project sheet, but this is so easy, okay? You're going to take, this is also a really good use of cardstock, although I've already cut this piece up really big. Actually, you know what? I had that half piece of cardstock. I'm gonna bring that in. Let's just bring this back in. So we're going to, this is the 8.5 inch, this is 5.5, and this is 8.5. So we're just gonna bring this into the 2 3/4 inch mark. And we're gonna cut. And so now we've got 5.5 by 2 3/4. There is room now for 2 more cards that you can make. So I think you can make 6 mini cards out of a sheet of paper as well. Oh, let's just use this. Let's bring this back in. I'm going to use the scoring. There is a scoring blade on this. We're just going to quickly use this to score at the 2 3/4 inch mark. So 5.5 by 2 3/4, and then score at the 2 3/4 inch mark. So it's in half. And then we're just going to fold this. I hope I have my piece of designer series paper flying around here somewhere. That leftover piece, here it is. Okay, I like this side. If I'm going to use the stripes on the one side, I think it's a little plain for my card. So I'm going to just do this beautiful floral side. And then we're just going to take this piece and glue it to here. Then what you want to do, this is like a very simple card. It's so cute, right? It's just cute just like that. But if you want to put a greeting on there like I did, this one, if you want the you're a true blessing, I used the Unbounded Love bundle to do that. So it has a bunch of little labels, and I used You're a True Blessing, and I used this little guy. I am not going to do that right now, but you could put whatever greeting you want on the front, or maybe tie some ribbon around, like just to show you if you wanted to finish this off, and like you can tie some ribbon around here and make it pretty, right? Okay, and then you can write message on the inside, Bible verse. Then this tucks right inside here. There's room for that. There's room for a tea bag, a cookie, and a little card. And then we're going to take about a 5-inch length of ribbon. It doesn't take a lot of ribbon, just a 5-inch length. Let's see. We're going to take this and snip. And we'll just wrap this around here. This ribbon also secures the contents on the inside, so that, you know, it keeps people from eating the cookies ahead of time if you're doing this for an event. And you can knot it twice. I'm just gonna do like one little knot, and then I'm gonna cut my ends in the same direction as I did my other ones. So 5 inches does like a really good job. And then that's all there is to it. And I really always recommend, if you're doing this for an event, do them in a color family. Choose whatever color family you want. Stampin' Up! Has designer series paper, like simple patterns of designer series paper in all the color groups, all the color families. So it just makes it very easy to do up these types of things for events and make them look really pretty. Usually I always recommend doing like at least 3 colors, but this, if you do the 4th color, it's Summer Splash, which is, I'll just grab the ink pad. It's a blue green, so it looks really nice with all of these colors. So there you go. This is not a hard tote to do. It's super cute, and I hope you will give it a try. So there we go. That didn't take too long. I think I did so much talking on the details, but it's not a hard project. It's not a long project. When I do these videos, these are not meant to be a short video. These are meant to teach you all the things I learned while I was making the project. So I hope you appreciate that part. And then you can use the project sheet with all the measurements. And once if there's any question, you can always go back to the video, right? So that is that. So if you've hung on here all this time and you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I would love it if you would subscribe or give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment. I appreciate all those. This is my small business. This is what I do for a living. So you're doing that for me helps me be seen by other people, and that helps my business to grow, and I'm very appreciative of that. All right, let's say hello to all of you who've joined me this morning. Good morning, Valerie and Marge and Nancy. Okay, so Marge is in Connecticut and Nancy's in Colorado and Cutie Puppies is in Oregon. And I have another person, Karen's from Oregon as well. Good morning, Marty from Pittsburgh. Everyone's saying very cute bags. Marge says, very cute bags and will be good to hold Easter goodies for her grandchildren. Oh, she just ordered the Spotlight on Nature bundle yesterday. Oh, that's awesome because this bundle is carrying over. It was new in the catalog last year. And it is, the circles are great. I have done some very fun things with these circles. So if you pop the name of the dies into the search engine on my blog, you will find those projects. But last year I did a little dress favor box, which was super cute. Okay, let's keep going. Hello, Darlene from Wisconsin. Hello, Mary. Hello, Pat. She said these bags are awesome. Good morning, Cheryl from New York. Patty G says she loves those cookies. Yeah, you know what? Pepperidge Farm does a really nice cookie, and they're a very generic kind of cookie, like they're plain. They don't have chocolate on them. So I think the sunshine's coming in, which I love, but it's causing my eyes to squint. I think it's generic enough so that a lot of people could possibly eat them, except of course if you're gluten-free, maybe not. But you can always pass them on to someone else who can eat them, right? Let's keep going. Hello, Liz from Arkansas. I hope all of you are okay if you're in the middle part of the U.S. I know we've had a lot of rain and flooding. I was listening on the news last night. I hope that everyone's doing okay. Mary says it breaks her to look at Mother's Day cards. I know, it's just a little harder. I find getting Mother's Day, like a specific Mother's Day bundle now is really hard. But this for me was a little easier because when this was coming together, I really just thought it was going to be a Mother's Day tote, and it just happened that way. The inspiration for this project for me was the cookies. I found the cookies first, and I was like, I need to make something with those cookies, and I really like this project for that. It's nice. That half sheet of cardstock is such a good thing. Okay. Linda says, cutest little bag. Thank you. Good morning, Deirdre. Hello, Nancy from New York. She says she loves the project. Hello, Tina. And she says she adores my project sheets. Thank you. I love making them too. I just love the way that they get laid out. Where did mine go? If you're joining late and you're not already on my email list, this is what I send out on Saturdays to my email list subscribers. A project sheet, a picture on the second page. I've got some diagrams just to help you along. And so this is in a PDF format, and then you can just print it off, or if you prefer, just grab the PDF and save it to your tablet, and then you can just keep these on file on your computer. You don't have to print them out, but they're a nice condensed version of what I did today. After this is over, I fill some URLs in. I actually try and double check to make sure everything is correct on here. And that's why I like to send them out on Saturdays. Also, usually I am not done with my project sheet on Fridays. So, Patty G said she loved my flower chart. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought that would help everyone a little bit. Last week I did a little project, a card box project with the Year of Flowers bundle, and I did up a color chart because they were all specific flowers. And you can change them, of course, to different colors as well. But it just helped me to kind of, okay, this is what this flower's color possibly could be. You could take my chart, and if you decide to use different colors, maybe just write them in the white space next to the flower, and then you can say, oh, okay, I tried it with this color. That one's a good color too. So it just gives you a nice starting point. Hello, Mary from Indiana. Hello, Deborah. Hello, Linda. She says, tuning in late. She says, cute box. Hello, Lois. She says, good morning to the most creative crafter I know. And she says, I'm amazing. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Hello, Linda. She says, don't forget the like button, everyone. And she says she loves my project sheets. Thank you, Linda. Liz says, Liz says host codes need to be closed by 11th unless it's different for Canada. Actually, Liz, if you call demo support, this is just a thing. I'll do a quick aside. That's the last day demo support can help you, is the 11th. But I think it's the 14th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. That is the actual cutoff. So if you need to add host codes to your host code, you can do that. The last day to do that is the 11th, which is coming up. That's next Friday. Because I specifically asked the demo support agent about that last time I was on there, because there was a message. But anyway, so you can check, but it should be the same for Canada and the US because we're on the same system. But next time you're on with demo support, just double check. It's just for the adding of them, but you could keep it open till Sunday still and then close it out just in case someone still orders. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it open and close it Sunday night. So just an aside. All right. Hello, Marianne. Good to see you this morning. I have so many team members on here supporting me this morning. I just love that. That's so sweet. And Tina was also saying something about the host codes. Yes, if you're still on here, Tina, double check with demo support, but I had them go into the details of that because I was surprised to hear that it was the 11th, and that's just because they're not open on the weekend, and on Monday morning when they open, there isn't going to be a lot of times those phone lines will be jammed probably Monday morning before they do the switchover. So you just need to make sure you've got things squared away on the Friday, but you don't have to close it out right away. Okay. Hello, Linda, and she's in Oregon as well. Hello, Pauline. Keep going. Hello, Mommy Roo from Nebraska. And let's see. Pauline says she has no idea what's happening to her message. I can see them. I just don't read them until the very end because I get too distracted. Hello, Tanya from Kentucky. Hello, Jean. Tanya says the bag is so cute. What die set is that from? And she said, sorry, I got on late and missed the information. Yeah, so if you're still on here, Tanya, I'm using the Spotlight on Nature dies. There's like 2 sets of circles. This is the first set, and I used actually the second and third largest dies out of the other set. But you can use, there are different ones. I just like using this particular one because there's no pieces to come out of it. It makes it just a little bit easier to create the handles without having to push out those little shards of paper on all of them. Hi Dee, she says, so very cute. Always something useful and cute in your 3D projects. And she says, thank you. Well, thank you, Dee, for being here. Cheryl says, such a cute little tote. You can probably fit some Ghirardelli chocolate squares in there too. Yeah, there's a lot of things that will fit in here because this is 3 inches and then 1 1/4. So if you had a bunch of smaller things, like smaller chocolates, you could put them in a cellophane bag to contain them and then put them in here. So definitely some options. I think everyone likes it when I choose one specific thing, at least, that will fit perfectly in there. So that's why I chose that today, and I didn't go into details with other things as well. Tanya says, what an adorable gift. It is City, says she loves the idea. Will make many for her friends. Aw, that's awesome. Linda says, very cute. She says, I might be making those for our Mother's Day tea at church. Awesome. I think they'll look really nice because they're like up high enough. So if they're on a table, they're gonna, stand out and not just kind of disappear. So, Tina says she loves this bag with all these different heart colors. How fun. Mommy Roo says, so adorable. Would make a cute gift for friends. Yes. Linda says she loves my 3D projects and the free project sheets. And she says, I'm the greatest. Well, thank you. I don't know if I'm the greatest, but I appreciate the fact that you love my projects. Karen also loves the project. Hello, Del Sol from Pittsburgh. Hello, Susan in Michigan. And she says, adorable bags. Cutie Puppies also likes the gift bags. She says, very adorable. Nancy says, so sweet. She'll have to start from the beginning because she jumped in late. Hello, Janice. She says, such cute boxes and so quick to make. Quick question. Did you ever figure out what scissors you use to cut your rubber stamps? I did, Janice. I actually put those down in the description of that video, and I'm not sure which video it was. I left a couple of Amazon links. I really hope after taxes are done, I want to create like an Amazon page on my blog that has all my favorite things on it, so that you can just link right from there. I actually, on that tutorial, I can't remember, it was which one was it? It was the one with the flowers. I think it was last week's. I went up and I updated it with the links. So if you don't find that, that was with the Year of Flowers project. If you don't see it, please let me know because I'm sure I added the links for you. Tina says, I know I told you in North Carolina you were a box queen, but now I'm revising that to 3D project and card queen. Well, thank you. I think I'm a little less on the card side, but I do love my 3D things. They are truly a passion for me. So thank you, Tina. Valerie says, glad to make it to a live. Aw, well, I'm glad you're here, Valerie. And she says, love all you do. Mommy Ruth says she loves the project sheets. They are so nice to have. And they're nice for me to have too, because a year from now, I like to go back, like sometimes I'm like, how did I do that project? Because I'm so in the moment. So it's a good reminder to me where I was. And sometimes my mind 1 year later will not be able to instantly figure out how I made that project. So it's nice to have like all the project sheets just handy for me too. I don't even search for them on my computer. I just, I go to my page and I grab them off there if I need them. Marge says, a big thumbs up. Thank you. Deirdre said, did you miss the flower color chart? When did you send it out? I sent it out last week. It was right under, they were there were 2 send outs I did. Well, there was one email. There was the project sheet on one line, and right below it was a link to the color chart. If you still have that email, great. Or if you have any of my project sheet emails in your inbox or whatever, save box, just go to the banner at the bottom of that email, and then there is a link to my project sheets page where you can get it if you're on my email list. All right. And Janice, yeah, just let me know if you can't find the link to the scissors. All right, Mommy Roo wraps it up. She says, have a great weekend, everyone. I hope you have a good weekend too. I will be back next week with new projects. We are right now, we are in retirement mode. We have some things on the last chance list, and I believe, I can't remember, I was looking at this morning, this paper is on sale. I wish I could keep using this paper because past this month, once it sells out, it is so good. I have gone through so many packs of this because it was such a good paper. I loved all the patterns in it. Now we are getting a new set of patterns, which they didn't put on the pre-order, so I have no idea what it looks like in person. Just we got like, you know, what it looked like in the catalog. So I'm excited to see the new patterns, of course, but this paper, when it came out last year, like I fell in love and I can't stop using it. So snap up some of this paper if you've got the in colors, the 2024-2026 in colors, because it's a good price. I think it was like $7, $7.60 is what is coming in my brain, but I could be wrong. I'm gonna look at it in the background. Let me see if I can pull this up in the background, and let me see if I can manage to. Let's go to my. I'm gonna look. Have to maneuver things around. Let's see. I'm gonna click on the designer series paper in the background and see if I was lying about the price. Now this is US pricing, so if you're in Canada, it will be something different. Okay, first time I click on it, it always doesn't go to the right spot. It's always the second time I click on it. Oh, I lied. $7.50, not $7.60. It is on sale for $7.50. This paper right here, right now. So it is a good deal. Because normally it is $12.50. So snap it up, because you're gonna be. This is the time of year to use those colors. So you're gonna just love that paper. And then while you're there, look at what else there is on sale. You can sort things from lowest price to highest price, which is what I like to do, just to see, you know, what embellishments and paper and stuff are on sale, because they will usually show up first. So that is some good paper on sale right now, and they probably just got a lot of it. I know they went through a lot of it last year, but they probably just had some leftovers. So now you can buy it for a really good price. All right, everyone, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for being here today. Take care. Bye-bye.